Britain didn't test this weapon. They didn't build a prototype. They were so terrified of losing global dominance that they ordered it straight from a blueprint, gambling the entire future of the Royal Navy on a gun that had never fired a single shot. Then it went out and shattered the most impossible record in naval warfare history. This is the story of the BL 15-inch Mark I, the outdated masterpiece that proved the entire world wrong. July 1940, the Central Mediterranean. HMS Warspite, a 25-year-old battleship, is charging into battle at 25 knots. Her main battery consists of massive guns designed way back in 1912. The enemy, the sleek, modern Italian flagship Giulio Cesare. The distance between them is staggering. Over 27,000 yards. That is nearly 14 nautical miles of open ocean. To hit a target at this range is pure madness. There is no radar. There are no digital computers. There is only an analog, mechanical fire control table, optical rangefinders, and a weapon foreign navies openly mock as a relic of the past. Warspite opens fire. At this immense distance, each colossal 2,000-pound shell screams through the sky, spending more than 35 seconds in mid-air. In that brief window, the Italian battleship covers nearly 500 yards of ocean. The math required to predict where that ship will be is astronomical. Exactly 6 minutes into the duel, a single 15-inch shell crashes directly into the base of the Giulio Cesare's funnels. The resulting explosion tears open a violent 25-foot crater, instantly vaporizing crew members, knocking 4 vital boilers completely offline, and crippling the flagship's speed from 27 knots to a crawling 18. Terrified, the Italian admiral panics and orders his entire fleet to retreat. That single shot, clocked at an astonishing 26,500 yards, remains the longest confirmed hit ever recorded by one moving battleship against another in human history. The gun that pulled it off was nearly 3 decades old. To understand how this happened, we have to go back to January 1912. The naval arms race between Britain and Germany had reached a terrifying tipping point. If Germany gained the upper hand, Britain would fall. Intelligence warned that Germany was secretly building massive 15-inch guns. Britain's current ships only had 13.5-inch weapons. Winston Churchill, the First Lord of the Admiralty, knew he had to strike first. He wanted the heaviest guns afloat. But standard military procedure required building a prototype, testing it for a year, and then starting production. Doing that would hand the initiative to Germany. So, Churchill made an insane, unprecedented decision. He ordered every single gun for the entire Queen Elizabeth class straight from the drawing board. No testing, no prototypes. If the blueprints were flawed, 5 of Britain's most expensive battleships would be completely useless, fitted with weapons too dangerous to ever fire. To keep the ultimate gamble a secret, the program was disguised under the fake code name 14-inch experimental. High-ranking admirals literally staked their careers and reputations on a weapon that only existed on paper. On May 6, 1914, the first completed turret was finally tested. It worked flawlessly. Between 1912 and 1918, exactly 190 guns were manufactured. And then, production completely stopped. Not a single additional gun was ever built. That lone, wartime production run would serve the Royal Navy for the next 50 years. The Mark I didn't just survive history, it wrote it. At Jutland in 1916, it hammered the German fleet from ranges they couldn't even return fire from. In April 1940 at Narvik, Warspite used these guns to annihilate an entire force of 8 German destroyers inside a Norwegian fjord. On D-Day, June 6, 1944, at 5 a.m., Warspite fired the opening bombardment of the entire invasion. A gun designed before the military tank was even invented was now providing heavy fire, support for the largest amphibious assault in human history, pulverizing German counterattacks, and shattering a concentration of 200 enemy tanks. Inland. If you are loving this deep dive into legendary military history, hit that subscribe button right now, drop a like, and tell me in the comments below, Where in the world are you watching this from? HMS Warspite earned 15 battle honors, more than any ship in British history. She survived torpedoes, kamikazes, and early guided missiles. When she was finally sold for scrap in 1947, she broke free from her tow line during a violent storm and ran herself aground on the rocky coast of Cornwall. Even in death, she refused to go quietly. The BL 15-inch Mark I wasn't the flashiest weapon, nor was it the longest ranged, but it was, by every metric, the most successful heavy naval gun ever forged. The critics who called it obsolete by 1940 were wrong. The navies that prioritized speed over shell weight were wrong. And over 27,000 yards of Mediterranean Sea, a 30-second flight time, proved them all wrong.